This is Danielle Gaudette with Emotional Self-Mastery. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry that it's been so long since my last filming. A lot of things happened. I relocated my body and brain center, so now I'm in an entirely new space. Also, I wanted to get some new equipment so that there could be a better sound quality for all of you who are listening today. So I hope that it's helpful for you. And what I want to do today is just keep moving forward on what I have been talking about in my previous videos. I'd like to first review a little bit of what I had gone over before. And then the second thing I'll do today is move on to the next step. And lastly, I'll do a very short, maybe just 2-minute exercise together with you so that you can have an exercise that helps you understand and practice the next step. Okay, so here we go. Previously, I said that I was going to introduce 6 different steps for helping with emotional management. The first 2 I already shared about. The first was Awaken. Awaken is the first step. It means stimulating your body strong enough so that your mind starts to come into your body, into the feeling of your body, instead of all the time being focused outward. It's very easy for us to be focused outward. There's a lot of strong stimulation externally, and our inner sense is pretty weak. Most people are like that. But if you don't bring your mind into your body, then you can't even begin to start managing your emotions, processing your emotions, or mastering your emotions. The mind has to come back into the body first. So several times I recommended the exercise of Danjan tapping, which is tapping your lower abdomen with your fists. I'm gonna show you that again a little bit later in this video. That is the simplest exercise that I like to use for bringing the mind back to the body, but it's not the only one. You can find the exercise of your choice that helps you bring your awareness into the feeling of your body. When that happens, your thoughts will start to quiet down and your inner sensations will increase. So this is step 1, Awaken. And step 2, I also talked about, which is Feel. This happens very naturally if you do step 1 properly and sincerely. So if you stimulate your body, if you stimulate your Danjan, your lower energy center, or any of the exercises that help you, naturally you're gonna feel things. All kinds of things. A lot of times people ask me, what am I supposed to feel? But there is no specific, special, right feeling. You have to delete that idea from your mind. You just feel whatever it is you feel. That's what I want you to do. Whatever it is, you might feel pain or discomfort. You might feel comfort and relaxation. You might feel a warm feeling or a cold feeling or a buzzing or an itching. All kinds of feelings. You might feel your emotion. You might feel agitated. You might feel tired. There's so many feelings inside, but we're usually not paying attention to them. So as you bring your mind in through step 1, then you move into step 2, feeling. It's going to happen automatically. Just pay attention to the feeling. So step 2, feel, means feel everything, anything, honestly, as it is. Which means don't try to create a feeling or search for a feeling. Just relax and just become aware of what feeling is there already. So this is step 1 and step 2. And when you do those sincerely, and I say sincerely because if you try to do them from your thoughts, or if you have judgments, or if you're not really focusing or paying attention, it's not going to work. So you need to be present when you practice and do those first 2 steps sincerely. Those first 2 steps are very important. They're the foundation for the remaining steps, and I will keep referring to them, because without awakening or without feeling, you can't go on to the next step. And the next step here is watch. So step number 3 is about watching. Usually, I will explain watching as the meaning of watching for this purpose is identifying your feeling without judgment. So this is not necessarily easy. Why? Because we have a lot of judgments. Anyone who practices step 1 and 2 sincerely, anyone who's has some sensitivity and self-awareness, is going to be able to identify what's going on. They're going to start to feel, oh, I feel this discomfort in my back, or I feel a little upset today, some anxiety, all whatever feelings are there. It's not hard to start to notice. But then what's important in step 3, watching, is don't apply judgment to anything that you see. So this is hard because we have this natural belief that good feelings are good and bad feelings are bad. And so we reject bad feelings. And sometimes we unconsciously reject them. So we don't even realize that we are trying to not feel the bad feelings. And we're doing all kinds of avoiding or reacting to those feelings without even realizing it. So it's something that we have to become aware of too. How much we avoid, how much we don't want to feel. But if you want to be able to heal yourself, if you want to be able to manage your emotions, if you want to be able to grow yourself, develop yourself as a person, you have to face everything that's inside of you. You can't really be scared or hate those things in there. It's really important. You have to enter into the room of your house and become aware of everything that's inside. So it's very similar to step 2, right? Feeling it honestly as it is. Now, step 3, identify the feeling without judgment. Something that you have to be careful about is your thoughts. Because a lot of times we try to identify with thinking and analyzing, and this is not watching. Watching is not that easy, as I have found through my own practice and trying to help others practice as well. Deep inside we have a consciousness, we can call it the observer consciousness, that is always watching us. If we can connect to that consciousness, if we can sink into it, then we can observe ourselves, watch ourselves without judgment, also very naturally. But it's not that easy to connect to that space. We don't really have a sense of it because we have lived with our consciousness outside of ourselves for so long. Such a strong habit. And there's many of those beliefs and judgments, and we're fighting with all of them to come in. It's hard to just connect with that sense. That's why step number 1 is so important. Awaken. You just keep stimulating, you keep awakening, and then you keep feeling, and you keep watching, and as you keep repeating doing that, eventually these deeper senses and this deeper awareness will wake up. Now, in the meantime, to practice getting there, on the road to getting there, I want to give a couple of suggestions. The first one is just think of this stage, this beginning stage of watching, as time for you to separate from your emotion. Separate, make space. So when we're fully in the emotion, we can't see it clearly. We need to have a little bit of space. It's like from here, you're totally anger, you're totally anxiety, but when you separate here, you can see, oh, this is my anger. This is my anxiety. When you separate, then a different identity starts to arise. It's another identity that can see the emotion instead of you being the emotion, you being the anger, you being your sadness, fully wrapped up in it. So ultimately, we have a wrong sense of identity inside. When we look at ourselves closely, we can see that we're identifying with those emotions that we struggle with too much. And we need to separate so that we can see, oh, it's just something that I have inside of me, but it's not me. It's not who I really am. It's just something that I have inside of me. And that's very normal. We all have all kinds of things in our house. We have all kinds of dirt or all kinds of bugs. We all have that from our lifetime of experiences. That's very, very normal. And beyond our lifetime of experiences, there's society and social expectations and so many things that keep giving birth to more and more and more emotional struggles inside. So this is very normal. But what's important is just to separate and look. Make a space between you and the emotion. Oh, I have this emotion. I have this emotion. Then there is another awareness waking up that is the awareness that can identify, that can see it, rather than just being it, being blinded by it. That awareness starts to get stronger the more you separate. So I hope this makes sense to you. I think this is an important tip for not judging. Just separate and see it. Oh, I have this. And I guess if there's any other tip, I want to just remind you that feelings are just feelings. Oh, I have this feeling. It's just a feeling. It'll come and it will go. And it will come back and it will go again. And it will come and it will go. Emotions are like the weather of our inner world. Sometimes it's sunny, sometimes it's rainy, sometimes it's snowing. It's changing all the time, the weather patterns. That's nature. That's normal. It's meant to do that. Our emotions are flowing like that inside of us. So that's why you have to make some space and let go of some of the strong meaning and judgment and beliefs that you put on those emotions. That when you feel those feelings, whether it's anger, anxiety, sadness, fear, that means something about you. That means something about your worth and your value. You have to practice to put that down and just recognize it as something like a piece of dirt in your room, in your house. It doesn't happen easily, but when you keep practicing it over and over again, it starts to get easier. You start to catch the feeling inside of the separation, and oh, there is another self here. There's another self. We call it our true self that is seeing this emotion that is not my true self. This emotion is a false self that I was believing was my true self. So I will now give you a little exercise that you can practice for working with this. Again, we're going to use the Danjan tapping because the Danjan tapping is so powerful to bring the energy down, as I've said in previous videos, which helps you with watching. Because when your energy's up here, you can't look at these feelings without judgment. You're just going to keep thinking about them and analyzing what I'm saying and judging yourself and judging the whole concept. It never stops when energy's up here. So you have to bring energy down in order, so not just to feel and bring your mind inside, but your mind has to come in and it has to get grounded. It has to calm down so that this can start to quiet down. Then the ability to watch will start to happen. So we're going to use the Danjan tapping, and I'm going to lead you through just a 2 minutes exercise of Danjan tapping, and I want to give you a sentence that will help you with this watching practice. 2 sentences actually. The first sentence is, I have, and you're going to fill in the blank. So let's take anxiety. I have anxiety. Or I have fear. Or it can be a physical thing. I have fatigue. I have tiredness. I have stress. I have pain in my back. It can be anything. You fill in the blank. So basically, you're feeling yourself and you're being aware of what you have. And then the next sentence is that same feeling. So let's take anxiety. I have anxiety. Then anxiety is not me. That's it. I have tiredness. Tiredness is not me. I have discomfort in my back. Discomfort in my back is not me. Just like that. And you just keep repeating. Very calmly, like you're just taking an inventory of what's going on inside of your room. But it shouldn't be mental. It has to all be coming up through the feeling as you bring your awareness inside. So this is just an exercise to practice the sense of watching and separating. Separating from your emotion and separating your identity from your emotion. So let's give it a try. I'm going to adjust the camera to remind you where your danjan is. About 2 inches below your belly button. So let's begin. And we're going to do this for 2 minutes. So just breathe out. Long, gentle exhale. When you breathe out, relax your shoulders, relax your chest, and quiet your mind. Keep going. Good, just keep breathing out. You can even close your eyes from now. Long, gentle exhale. Okay. And then as you do that, become aware of the feeling inside your body. Any feeling, remember what I said, any feeling is okay. And just make sure you make your fists firm enough that you're really stimulating strong enough so that your awareness comes in and you start to feel the feeling. And then you can start to use the sentences. But remember to keep breathing out, quieting your mind and calming your mind with every exhale. You can notice just physical things at first. It really doesn't matter where you start. I have tension in my shoulders. Tension in my shoulders is not me. I have tension in my chest. Tension in my chest is not me. And remember to keep taking time to breathe. Don't let your energy go back to your head. Keep your awareness with the feeling in your body. Or you might notice some stress. I have stress. Stress is not me. I have a lot of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are not me. I have a feeling of being agitated. Feeling agitated is not me. And just keep repeating your own. Good, and then you can rub your abdomen. Great. Now 2 minutes is definitely not enough to really get into this exercise. I just wanted to give you a sample and get you started. What I really recommend is if you have time, or when you have time, you turn off this video and you continue this exercise for another 5, 10, or even 20 minutes. The more time you have, the better to let your awareness really sink in. Keep repeating this sentence and keep feeling how your body feels when you say this sentence. So don't get caught up in thinking, am I saying it right? Am I doing it right? What am I supposed to feel? I don't feel anything. No, please let that go. Over and over and over again, you can just keep letting that go. And just come back and just whatever you feel. You need to get to know you. So there's not the right way for somebody else to do this exercise. Just you need to start to feel you and get to know you. So this is awakening and feeling and the beginning of watching yourself. So I hope this was helpful. I wanted to pick up where I had left off. And now, after this video, I'm happy to take any questions as you start this practice. The more we go through the steps, the more you might have questions. You might find it complex. Or you might find it too simple and feel like, I'm not really sure if this is helping me. And then feel free to post a question below. I'm happy to hear any of your questions and any of your comments. Also, please visit my blog anytime, daniellegaudette.com. I'm often writing about these topics, and some of my blog posts might be helpful for the things you're going through, or to hear about what other people are going through and posting there as well. So thank you again so much for tuning in. I really hope you'll practice well, and I hope to see you again next time. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much.